So how's it going, everyone? So today, due to the choppiness of the market this morning, as you can see, there is not really any clear direction. So I actually took no trades today. So I thought today I want to make a video kind of going over the strategy that I've been working on myself. And this is the strategy that I've generally found the most consistency with. Now, before I get into it, I don't want people to get the wrong idea and think that like I'm a pro, because I've been trading for about a year now, a little over a year, and I'm not yet consistently profitable. So just know that this is not financial advice. I really just want to share kind of what I look for and what setups I look for when the market opens, and just kind of the general strategy that I've been trying to perfect and the strategy that I want to continue to use throughout the rest of this year. So I have some screenshots that I want to break down. So what do I look for? What is my strategy and what patterns do I like to trade? Well, I've always been a big fan of continuation patterns. Now, I've studied quite a few of them. I really don't like supply and demand or any type of like swing strategy or where you have to wait sometimes a couple of hours for the trade to work out. I typically like scalping continuation, and that's really what I've found the most consistency with. So bull flags and bear flags are my go-to setups, as well as kind of scalping key levels such as pre-market high, pre-market low. I like trading the breakouts of those levels as well. And even sometimes the break and retest of pre-market high or pre-market low. So yeah, here we have an example of a trade I recently took. And in this video, I'm not going to show any live trades because I have, if you go take a look at my past like 5 videos, you can watch me trade these setups live. But in this video, I'm really just going to break down how I trade them. So here we have SPY on the 2-minute time frame. I like the 2-minute because it slows things down a little more than the 1 minute does. And I think setups end up looking really clean on the 2-minute. Now, for example, this bear flag was a really clean pattern. You can see right after the open, we had a strong move down on SPY. Now, I never chase that. I wait for pullbacks, such as this one right here. Let me draw that a little cleaner. Now, you can see this is a really simple 2-minute bear flag. It was below the VWAP as well as the 9 EMA, which are generally the only 2 indicators that I use on my chart. That and volume, of course. And you can see as soon as the price broke through the flag pattern, we got some nice continuation to the downside. So this is where I went short. And this is really all I'm looking for. A move from here to here. That's a pretty good move. So if I can get just a couple of candles in my favor, I usually just take profits. If I have 2 contracts, and I get a move in my favor, a lot of times I sell one and just kind of set a stop loss at break even on the other one. So yeah, that's an example of a trade I recently took. Now if you go and take a look at the next one, you can see it's on SPY again, and all these trades that I'm breaking down today were on SPY. That's what I trade basically every single day just because it has nice movement, great liquidity, and I really understand the price action best on SPY. Now I took 2 pretty decent scalps on this day, and the first one is right here. Now this was a key support level right here. You can see it was a little pivot in the pre-market, and the same level was also a key level of support on ES, and I noticed that before the market opened. So I had this level marked out, and you'll notice the first candle closed red, and I've noticed that a lot of times that first move gets reversed. So when this second candle opened, I noticed it had a slight move down and then reclaimed this support level, and it looked like it wanted to pop the high of this candle. So right around here I went long with only 1 contract, and I had a mental stop loss of really this line right here. So I basically told myself if we get below this line, I'll just sell for a really small loss. And then as you can see from here, we got a nice move up to the pre-market high, and I think I took profits a little before that, but yeah, that worked out as a nice scalp. Now the second trade was a great one, and you might already be able to see it, but you can see we had a dip down, it got bought back up, and then you can see we had like 2 rejections of pre-market high, meaning that this is a big area of interest. So this rejection pulled back into the 9 EMA and then reclaimed it. So it essentially formed a really nice bull flag, and when we broke through it, I think right here I went long with 1 contract, and then we got the move up to pre-market high, and the tape really started to speed up. So I added a second contract right here, and I was just anticipating the break of pre-market high, which is, as you can see, exactly what happened. So we got a nice move up, and then I took off 1 contract right around here, and I was going to hold the other one as a runner. And then when this candle opened, it kind of shook me out of the trade, so I sold the other one right around here. So yeah, that was another great scalp on SPY on the same day. So if we take a look at the next one, now these two trades were similar, but the difference is this is on the 5-minute. Now, oftentimes, if SPY pulls back and doesn't hold the 9 EMA on the 1-minute or the 2-minute, sometimes it'll go right through that, and then it will hold the 5-minute 9 EMA, which is what happened right here. So I noticed we had a big move up, then it pulled back into the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, and then when the next candle opened, it started to move up. So I thought we were going to hold this level right here. So I went long, which is one contract, and got a nice move up to the highs. So I just took profits right there. So unfortunately, I missed out on this big move. But then we had basically the same setup as this right here. A pullback into the 5-minute 9 EMA, and then we started to move up again. So here I went long with one contract, and then in my video, I broke this down. I traded this on the 2-minute, and the 5-minute. And somewhere in the middle here, I added a second contract. So I had two contracts, and then I think we barely broke the highs, and I took profits right around here. And then as far as a stop loss goes, I generally don't use hard stops. I use mental stops. And I generally just use the recent pivot low of where I entered. So if I bought here, I would have just told myself, well, if we get below this, I think the trade becomes invalid. The trend may be reversing. So I'd sell right here for a really small loss. So let's take a look at the next one. Now you can see here, right after the open, it's pretty back and forth. There's a lot of chop going on, and I like to trade when there's a clear trend. So I waited for this big aggressive sell-off, and then I waited for a pullback into the 9 EMA, and then I noticed when we rejected the 9 EMA, the next candle opened red, started heading down. So I bought a put option right here, so I went short, and then as soon as we approached the low of day, I added a second contract anticipating a breakout or a breakdown of the lower day. So again, it's a continuation trade. And then when we got the break, I sold one contract, and then I rolled the second one down, and then it kind of got bought back up a little bit, so I took profits right around here for a nice win. So yeah, that is essentially my strategy kind of in a nutshell, and I want to kind of draw it out to make it like even more simplified. So let's go ahead and start with some notes. Like what levels are we watching off the open? Usually pre-market high as well as pre-market low. These are the main key levels I watch every morning on SPY as well as QQQ. And yeah, as far as indicators go, I keep it really simple. I just do VWAP as well as the 9 EMA. I guess I might as well throw volume in there too. Now, what patterns do I like? Well, like I said, I keep it pretty simple. I look for bull flags as well as bear flags. And I also like to watch for the break and retest of the PMH for pre-market high / pre-market low. So if I go ahead and draw this out, I'm going to essentially try to draw as a very simple chart here. So let's say we got SPY right after the open. We get a move up, and remember, like I said, I don't like to chase the move up. I wait for pullback. So let's say we get this little micro pullback here, and it starts to move up fast. The tape is speeding up, lots of buyers coming in. Now, this is already a pretty good flag pattern setup, and it's even better if it forms at a key level. So let's say this right here is pre-market high. In my head, I'm thinking we already tried once to break pre-market high. So with this pullback, if we look good approaching pre-market high again, I'm going to go long with either one or two cheap contracts. And then, like I said, I would basically place my stop loss right below the pivot of the flag or the 9 EMA. If the 9 EMA is basically just tracking like right along here, if we break through the 9 EMA, to me the trade is really no good. And that's probably a good place to stop out. So if we get the breakout of the pre-market high, on that initial breakout, I'm pretty much instantly taking off one contract just to secure some profit. And then once the trade starts going in my favor, I never want to let that last contract turn red. So I would basically move my stop loss up to right where I entered. And then if we have the second candle open, moves down, next candle gets another pushback up, that's usually right where I'm taking profits, because small consistent winners really do add up, and that's kind of what my scalping strategy is all about. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to draw that out to make it a little more visual and like simplified. So yeah, that is basically all I have for you today. If you want to see how I traded these patterns live, go ahead and watch my last couple of videos, and you should see pretty much all of these trades live that I broke down today. So that is essentially my strategy in a nutshell. You know, it's a lot easier said than done, and I have not perfected it yet, but that's how I'm attempting to grow my small account this year. And if you want to follow me along that journey, hit that subscribe button, because my goal for this year is to post at least 3 live trade videos and recaps per week, as well as try to get my channel to 1,000 subscribers. And if you are a more experienced trader than I am, please feel free to give me advice, or if you think my strategy needs to be tweaked a little bit, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll be happy to read it and reply. With that being said, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.